Ladies and gentlemen, the American German Bulldog Nation, welcome to the Eric Deters Show. Two things in history I want to report. Today in history, in 1787, they began the Constitutional Convention. And we all know what happened. That we created this great government. Israel, this is wild, little irony. Today in history, 1948, the country of Israel was formed. They gave Israel their own country. And there's been trouble ever since, hasn't there? All right, let's get to it. New poll. This is a Siena poll. New York Times says that Trump is winning in Michigan, Arizona, Nevada, Georgia, Pennsylvania. Wow, all 5 swing states. Kamala dropped the F-bomb. Do you believe it? Got to kick those effing doors down, she said. Oops. You know what I thought? I think she did this on purpose because she sees what street cred Trump's developing with his criminal trial. So she wants to act like she's tough too. Unbelievable. All right. Cohen's testimony. Cohen went through how he was honored to serve the president. He went through how it was about the election he was worried about, men, blah, blah, blah. But nothing at all. Nothing. He used his own money, then asked for the money back. He set it all up. Folks, I want to tell you something. What man in President Trump's position isn't counting his lawyers to handle certain things? I mean, this doesn't do anything. Now, I got to tell you, my buddy Randy McCaffrey and I, we talk about SNL skits that they never do that they should do. I keep telling Randy we ought to do our own show. Get this. Another SNL skit they'll never do like always. Cohen is on the stand. Under cross-examination, he admits he boinked Stormy. Judge forced to ask the entire room who also has boinked her. Everyone raises their hand except Trump. That would be funny. Wouldn't that be funny? Cohen goes, yeah, I did her. Everybody else did her too, even Trump's lawyers. Randy and I crack each other up. All right, Psaki. She's had to admit that her book was wrong. The Biden, that he did look at his watch during the Afghanistan memorial service. Joe Biden is scumbag, and you voted for him, and in 4 years, he's done his best to destroy this country. It's awful. Don Jr., this is pretty classy. Don Jr.'s a good dude. Don Jr. went and visited Navarro in jail. So it's important to show support. Good for him. Tommy Tuberville's upset. He was one of the senators at the trial yesterday of Trump. Tuberville's upset that they don't address him as Mr. President. They addressed him Mr. Trump. I agree with Tuberville. All right, Cohen again. Cohen claims he's been pitching a reality show where he tries to fix things. Well, this guy breaks everything. Can you imagine? This guy, I've been saying this from day one. This guy was the personal lawyer to the President of the United States, and he screwed it up. They started coming after him to get the president. He should have held strong. I mean, instead, he was a little wussy boy. Would you want Michael Cohen to fix one of your problems? Now, I'd be a good fixer. He's not a good fixer. He's a disaster. They ought to do a reality show where Cohen screws things up. That would be more suited to him. Pope blames America. You believe it? For everything wrong with the climate, everything, that's America's fault. I can't stand this Pope. All right, Melinda Gates has quit the foundation. She apparently gets a payday going out the door. But I think Melinda Gates has finally decided, it's time to separate completely from old Bill. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Do not be a knavish, worse-bodied cullion. Be an oracle. Ladies and gentlemen, the American Jury and Bulldog Nation, I would like to take time to honor Judge Douglas Stevens, may he rest in peace, who passed away on May 2nd at the age of 82. And my first experience of knowing Judge Stevens when I was a little boy, and I remember It's wild. I still remember this. So I was born in 63. He joined the military. He volunteered in Vietnam in 67 through 69. But I remember Judge Stevens coming as a young man, coming out to our house in a uniform. He volunteered to serve in the Army during the Vietnam period. That says a lot, doesn't it? But anyway, he became my dad's law partner. So I knew him from being my dad's law partner. And then he got elected to Kenton District Judge, and then he got elected to Kenton Circuit Judge, where he was there for about 25 years. And Judge Stevens was a really good guy, but he was very tough. He was very strong. He told me I gave him one of the best compliments he'd ever given. One day in chambers, I said to him, I said, you know, Judge, you remind me of a federal judge. You ought to be a federal judge. His whole demeanor, the way he ran his courtroom, the way he judged, he really just, seemed to me like he ought to be a federal judge. But he was a great judge, but he was tough. Now, this was a transformation with me with Judge Stevens. When I became a young lawyer, and I just remember this, I'm a young lawyer, whippersnapper. He's my dad's former law partner, and he was tough on me. And to be candid with you, when I began practicing law, I kind of got the impression he didn't like me. He thought I was kind of a whippersnapper. But it all changed when I started trying cases in front of him in circuit court. And I won my very first plaintiff's medical malpractice case in his courtroom. And when you start, this is something that judges respect you more when you're in the game, when you're in the trenches. And I just know I earned his respect. I felt it. And he was an outstanding judge and a good guy. He was like, oh, here's the other thing that I loved about him. Boy, have times changed. I never forget, I was in a courtroom with him, and I think it was not in a courtroom, in the chambers with him, and I think it was Tom Nienaber, which was funny too. Tom Nienaber was chewing gum. And Stephen said, Mr. Nienaber, will you please remove your gum? I mean, that's the kind of thing you don't chew gum in front of Judge Stevens. But I think it was either Tom Nienaber or Jim Walterman. I forget who it was. But he said in chambers when there was some court of appeals decision, he goes, now this is like, when you think about it, this was like 15, 20 years ago. He goes, is it me or our court of appeals these days going out of their way to try to embarrass lawyers? And although he might tell Tom Nienaber to take out his gum in chambers, Judge Stevens always let a lawyer be a lawyer, and he never tried to embarrass you or upset you, which is so today. Things have changed so much in the practice of law. Thank God I'm retired. And the judiciary. It's just not as like it once was. And Judge Stevens was one of those Fourth Circuit judges when I started practicing law in the heyday in Kenton County. Judge Goodenow, Judge Dunn, Judge Galeese, and Judge Stevens. It was a different time. Now, I want to close with this. Two other more stories about Judge Stevens. One, and I've quoted him on this, I'll never forget when in the courtroom, when this was when the Commonwealth attorney, it was after Don Buring, and Bill Crockett was the Commonwealth attorney, and it wasn't going very well. And he gave this little speech where he used the words, I weep for our community of how justice is being administered. It was moving. Now, I'm going to close with this. One day I'm sitting in Judge Stevens' courtroom waiting for my case to be called at a hearing. And a woman, a black woman, was standing before him charged with drug possession. And she had worked out a plea. And she was standing before the judge a plea. And he gave this absolute wonderful speech and words to her that showed understanding and justice and mercy and empathy and compassion all woven together, including how through this poor choice, she really harmed no one but herself. She didn't harm anyone. She didn't sell drugs. This was a possession case. And it was a thing of beauty. I wish I had it recorded. But may Judge Stevens rest in peace. Last time I spoke to him it's been a long time ago, probably 5 to 10 years ago. I needed a reference on someone that he knew, and I called him, and he gave me the reference. But he was a good judge. By the way, the judge that reminds me of him that we have today is Judge Schran out in Boone County. Judge Schran reminds me of Judge Stevens. Anyway, which is a compliment to Judge Schran. All right, next up, Jennifer Zacchaeus Miller. This is a lawyer that was missing since Saturday. It's my understanding she was found. Campbell County put out a request for help. A friend of mine texted me. I posted it last night, but I don't know the circumstances, but apparently she's been found. All right, Roger Reynolds, the Butler County auditor, has won his appeal. He'll get a new trial. Minimum age, this cracks me up. A bar up in Ohio, it doesn't make any difference with the bars, it's just funny, has raised their minimum age to 30 years, and there are no exceptions. Why? Because how young people are. Act, treat, tip, you name it. I mean, it's pretty cool. By the way, just so you know, a bar can make their own rules as long as they're in the law. Jay Sardinia, dentist, sentenced 20 years for unlawful distribution of controlled substances, which led to a death. This must have been far worse than met the eye for him to get 20 years. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Have a great day.
G'day, Bulldog Nation. Jamie Spindley here again with Eric Deters World News. Today's top stories. Amazon's entry into South Africa sparks concerns about local online retailers' survival. Not everyone is excited about the upcoming store. Mumbai, India witnesses tragedy as 12 people lose their lives and dozens sustain injuries due to a storm-induced petrol station billboard collapse. In other news, former Army lawyer David McBride receives nearly 6 years in prison for leaking classified documents revealing allegations of war crimes by Australian Special Forces in Afghanistan. And British security officials confirm the arrest of a notorious European smuggler in the Kurdish region of Iraq. That's the latest headlines. Until tomorrow, cheerio.
Ladies and gentlemen, American cheering Bulldog Nation, welcome to Sports Without Boundaries. The Reds lost a heartbreaker to the Diamondbacks, 5-6, ninth inning walk-off. Kevin Newman, a former Red, had to hit, lost 6-5. Had some bad base running too. I mean, the Reds are in a free fall. NHL, Canes 4, Rangers 1. Rangers had them 3-0, now it's 3-2. We'll see what happens. I expect the Rangers to win. Stars 5, Avalanche 1. Stars are up 3-1. NBA playoffs, Celtics 109, Cavs 102. Had a lot of players hurting. They're up 3-1. Thunder 100, Mavs 96. Thunder came back. This means it's tied 2-2. Friedel gets hit by a pitch. He's back for a week. Gets hit by a pitch, broken thumb. Man, it's unbelievable. Terrible. Ellie De La Cruz apparently has by far the fastest bat speed of the Reds. Doesn't shock me. You ready for this? This is insane. The NHL, baby. The NFL, my God. Goff signed a 4-year, $212 million contract, $170 million guaranteed. Since when a quarterback making $50 million plus a year? That tells you how much money the NFL makes. It's insane. Reed Shepherd, this'll shock you. White boys can't jump? Nah, baby, nah. Reed Shepherd at the NBA Combine, highest 42-inch vertical leap. How you like that? And there's rumors going around that the Lakers might draft Bronny James to keep LeBron, part of a package deal. All right, we'll draft Bronny if you stay, and boom, boom, boom. And let's face it, LeBron loves his son enough. Why wouldn't you? Play with him, take him under his wing. I understand it. It's a global deal. You know, maybe the Bronny can be a bit player on the team as he develops. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. You have a great day. Ladies and gentlemen, American Church Bulldog Nation. We got some fun stuff for you. 2 new coaches are going to be coming on The Voice. Reba McEntire and Blake's wife are going to remain. Okay? They're going to remain. Coming on, this is going to spark Snoop Dogg. Perfect for him. He lives out in L.A. Snoop Dogg and Michael Bublé. So I think that will add some oomph to the show. Already got Gwen Stefani and Reba McEntire covering the woman pop thing, the country thing. Michael Bublé, those people that like that kind of music. And Snoop Dogg, unbelievable. All right, and Harry and Meghan's charity, apparently in California, is apparently illegal. They didn't file what they need to be filed, delinquent, and they can't raise any money now because of that. I'm telling you, nothing these 2 touch doesn't turn to crap. It's unbelievable. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Have a great day.